I even went on his podcast and like just broke him down like verbally, mentally, spiritually, and I could just see it in his face. Even like little parts in his podcast where I was like, yeah, it feels good to be on top. Everybody's looking upward at me. And he was like, I ain't looking upward at you. I'm like, yeah, the rankings tell me that you are looking upward at me. So I think I verbally broke down Usman, and I think he got emotionally broken. So then he got he tried to get physical. But when you try to get physical with the champion, there's levels to this.
All right, so there's been a ton of people calling for the Pound for Pound podcast hosted by Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo to upload the episode that they filmed with Belal Muhammad as their guest. Because according to Belal himself, Kamaru got really emotional and even tried to fight him right then and there live on set. And even though I wanted to make a video on this at the time this story started to spread, I figured that I'd wait for them to upload the podcast because it would make for a better video. But the thing is, it's been over a month now and these guys still haven't dropped the footage yet, and the lack of acknowledgement of the events of that day from Usman have led a lot of people to believe that he's refusing to release the video, whether it be out of spite or simply embarrassment, because by all accounts, he was the one who lost his temper and escalated the situation. And since filming, Belal has taken every opportunity to mock and ridicule Kamaru for losing his cool, and as you can expect, it's only resulted in fans putting more pressure on Pound for Pound to release the Belal cut. Honestly, I don't know why I find this story as fascinating as I do, but I've done a lot of research into this topic, and in this video, I'll give you my thoughts on whether or not I think Usman is actually ducking uploading this podcast. First, let's take a look at how long it usually takes Pound for Pound to film, edit, then upload episodes that feature special guests, starting with their most recent post starring Jon Anik. Anik mentions a couple of times throughout the conversation that during the moment of recording, they were right in the middle of UFC 306 Fight Week, which took place from September 9th to September 13th. And even though it's a bit hard for me to give a confident guess on what exact day this was recorded, I'm 100% sure it happened during this date range, meaning that at minimum, it took Pound for Pound over a month to upload it. That being said, it's very strange to me why they decided to film this on UFC 306 Fight Week and talk so much about UFC 306 only to upload this 1 week before UFC 308. Then moving backward, we have their episode with Khalil Roundtree. This was uploaded 5 days after UFC 307 on October 10th and was obviously filmed right after the event, seeing as Khalil was sporting his fresh bandages from his fight with Alex Pereira. So from filming to the video going live, this probably was a 2 to 3 day maximum turnaround, which is ludicrously quicker than when they were able to drop the Anik one. And then we have the Marab and Sugar Sean episodes, where in both of these videos, Kamaru himself references that they're both fighting at UFC 306 next weekend, and both of these episodes were obviously posted during fight week, so the turnaround for these were like a week, give or take. Umar Nurmagomedov's was also filmed during UFC 306 Fight Week, based on the fact that they're using the same exact set that can be seen from the Jon Anik episode, and this one was uploaded on September 19th, so this one took about a week, maybe a little bit longer to release. For Corey Sandhagen's featured episode that was uploaded on July 25th, Corey says in the interview that they were filming a day before he left for Abu Dhabi to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. And based on Corey's YouTube vlogs following his training camp, I think I've pinned down that he was on Pound for Pound either the 22nd or 23rd of July, so this also just took a couple of days to produce. Then we have Kayla Harrison's episode, which was actually uploaded right before Khalil's on October 3rd, which was 2 days before UFC 307. According to what Kamaru and Kayla say in their conversation, Henry wasn't present for this one because he was in Paris watching the Olympic wrestling finals, which took place in the first week of August. So 2 whole months passed in between filming and uploading this podcast, and that definitely seems a bit longer than necessary, but at the same time, her fight with Ketlen Vieira was just announced, and it seems like they kept this video in the vault specifically for UFC 307 Fight Week in order to maximize views. So with all this out of the way, just looking at the turnaround times that we've seen on Pound for Pound, I personally don't really see anything that indicates that they've locked away Belal's episode quite yet. I mean, given they have shown that beyond a shadow of a doubt that they can film, edit, and upload a podcast within like 3 days based on the Khalil video. But then you have the Anik podcast and especially the Harrison podcast, where they've shown that they're willing to purposefully hold off on posting a video for their own reasons, even if it doesn't make sense based on current events. Also, I should mention at this point that according to Jon Anik, Belal filmed his episode of Pound for Pound the day after he did.
You know, we made an appearance on there, so it was fun. I'm hoping that they bring out the episode. It was a good one.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll bring out the episode. My brother, I was on their show, I believe, the day before, but I knew that you were going to be on there. And
I don't know, just based on the data that we have readily available to us, it's not all that irregular for Kamaru and Henry to sit on videos until they feel like the time is right. Don't get me wrong, I would love for them to have uploaded it by now because I really want to see Usman lose his shit on camera, but I really get the feeling that they're just holding on to the footage for Belal's next fight week at UFC 310 in December. I mean, they literally just uploaded the Anik episode, so theoretically, it's not all that unreasonable to believe that their next upload could be featuring Belal, but I kind of doubt that. All this to say, I definitely think that there is a non-0% chance that Usman is so butthurt over Belal making him lose his temper that he never lets the footage see the light of day. And I'm not gonna say that Belal is in Kamaru's head or anything like that, but I will say that he definitely seems very salty at the fact that he is the current welterweight champion. First and foremost, look at Usman's reaction in this clip from the Umar podcast.
I am the boss of the welterweight division. Next year, I will come back. Inshallah, I will show these guys I'm still the boss. And I,
But
inshallah,
right now, you,
and inshallah.
sorry, brother, but right now you know Belal. Sorry, brother. Belal Muhammad, right now,
Oh,
boss, brother.
Damn,
Look,
you know
look, he
them.
got me
Brother,
and you,
his name.
Kamaru.
Brother,
this guy worked for me.
brother, you have to believe.
This guy worked for me.
I love how Kamaru's smile immediately gets wiped off his face when he realizes that Umar is saying that he's no longer at the top. And frankly, I have no idea what he means when he repeatedly says that Belal worked for him, and I really wish that he elaborated on it a little bit more, but regardless, it just really feels like a whole lot of cope out of Usman here. That plus his awkward body language gives me the feeling that what Umar said cut into his ego a little bit, but that just might be me playing armchair psychologist. And then we have this clip from the Anik video where Usman takes a jab at Belal.
That's where this thing gets challenging. It's just being able to find that fine line, like you mentioned, with your friend, Belal, that you just mentioned. See how easy it is for me to forget his name?
That's good. That was good.
See how
That's
easy?
good. Look how good you are.
I just-
Handsome too.
No, I'm serious. I
Forgets
just
the
forget.
name.
I don't never
Forgets the
remember
name.
it.
Now, do I really think that this is all that bad of a diss? Nah, not really. And although I think it is pretty low-hanging fruit for people to pretend to not remember the name of Belal, he brings him up completely unprompted and out of nowhere, so clearly he's on Kamaru's mind. Next, we have this clip from the Remember the Show podcast where Belal has this to say about confronting Henry about uploading his episode.
And Belal, did you say a lot of stuff or? I
We
don't
threw
know.
a lot of stuff around, but yeah.
Oh, we were throwing
It's-
stuff.
It's funny. I saw Cejudo at the Salt Lake City card, and I was like, "Bro, when are you releasing the podcast?" He's like, "I should, right?" I'm like, "Bro, why not, man? Why? It's gonna give you ratings."
So I might be reading too much into this, and let me know if you think that I am, but based on what Belal said here, I feel like it seems apparent that Henry is willing to upload the footage, so could this mean that Kamaru is the one blocking it? Look, Cejudo was willing to upload the O'Malley episode where Sean mocked him and then left the call in like 15 seconds, so we know that Henry understands that moments like these will only help the success of the podcast. And I understand that this doesn't at all prove that Usman is the reason why they're not uploading the video, but out of the two guys that are in charge of this program, we know that one of them seems like he's on board to upload it. Okay, so if you're asking me whether or not I believe that Usman is intentionally vaulting the Belal episode, my official opinion as of right now is that I don't think so. But the unfortunate fact about this situation is that we might have to wait all the way until UFC 310 to know for sure if he is or isn't. Not only that, seeing as they've uploaded episodes after events when it doesn't even make sense to do so, who knows, maybe they'll post it after UFC 310, which would be really dumb if they did. And maybe it's me wanting to give Kamaru's ego the benefit of the doubt that he'll be able to laugh at himself a little bit and upload it for the massive amount of views it would pull, but based on some of the clips of him not being a very good sport, I'm not too sure if that'll be the case. Regardless, I do think that it is a little bit too soon to come to the conclusion that Usman is 100% burying the footage of him having a temper tantrum. But if UFC 310 comes and goes and that video still hasn't seen the light of day, then I'll definitely have a much easier time believing that Usman is protecting his ego. But yeah, I want to see this shit as soon as possible, and based on the comments section of all of Pound for Pound's most recent videos, I know that a lot of you guys do too. Anyways, that's the video for today. Definitely let me know what you think about Usman losing full composure over Belal pushing his buttons. Do you think Kamaru has vaulted the footage, or are you optimistic that we'll get to see it eventually? As always, if you like the video, then like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.